Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin soaring right now, up over 5,200 on the day, looking to retest 97,000, 3% away from 100K. Send it. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest technical analysis. Also, breaking news: the mayor of Vancouver put forth a motion to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet of Vancouver City. Let's go, Canada, eh? We'll also be discussing US dollar weakness. Growing money supply could fuel the Bitcoin 2025 rally. We'll also be discussing Brazil's Congress to weigh Bitcoin reserve as a hedge against global risks. That's right. New legislation aims to establish a sovereign federal Bitcoin reserve, potentially enhancing asset diversification and economic resilience. We'll also be discussing Trump eyes handing the CFTC oversight of crypto. Take that, Gensler. We'll also be discussing here's when Bitcoin can hit a massive 250,000 price target, according to billionaire Tim Draper. I'll be breaking down this latest report, as well as Bitcoin to hit 1 million after 100,000 in days to weeks after we achieve the six-figure milestone, according to Samson Mow. I'll be breaking this down for you. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show as Bitcoin continues to soar. But without further ado, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes and go ahead and subscribe to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod and hit that bell icon, turn on all notifications, that way you get notified actually when we go live. And today is pod episode 1831. I'm your host, JV. It's November 27, 2024, Moonvember, still in full effect. There's still a few days left to go. We have a big holiday tomorrow, Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving in advance, as Bitcoin is about to reclaim 97,000, up over 5,300 on the day, and everything's pumping. So let's kick it off with our market watch. Bitcoin doing its thing. We also have Ether up 9%, trading back on top of 3600. We have XRP back up 8% on the day, trading just shy of $1.50. We got Cardano up 9%, trading above $1. BNB in the green, Solana in the green, virtually everything bumping and in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap is back at an all-time high, 3.34 trillion. Bitcoin market cap back just shy of 2 trillion, 1.917 trillion to be exact. And the volume is 195 billion past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance 57.3%. Ether dominance back on the climb at 13% even. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Uniswap leading the pack, up 23% on the day. Athena up 20% and Aave up 17%. Which alts, if any, broskies, are you most bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the day. I love to see everything in the green. Let's go. And zooming out on the month, very similar. Everything's still in the green. Very impressive gains. You got like XRP up 188% on the month. XLM up 432%. HBAR up 200%. Cardano up 200%. Let's go. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. We're finally back in greed, a 75 today, right on the cusp of the extreme greed, which we were in yesterday at a 79, and last week with an 83, and last month a 72 in greed. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on block height 872,223, and you currently exchange $1 US for 1,039 sats. By the time we surpass that six-figure milestone, it's going to be less than 1,000 sats per dollar. So stack them sats and let's freaking go. But yeah, let's dive into today's technical analysis, aka astrology for the broskies. Bitcoin demands 95 reclaim, a six-figure Bitcoin price calls return. And in fact, since this article was published like maybe a couple hours ago, we're already above 97 Gs. Take that, Bitcoin bears. That's right. Bitcoin gain now probably closer to 6% today as buyers stepped in to halt the trip to weekly lows. And just like that, there's egg on Jim Cramer's face. Take that, Cramer stir. We inversed that mofo anyways. But anyways, renewed strength came as week by the U.S. macroeconomic data prints fell in line with expectations. These included the jobless claims after the Fed's preferred inflation gauge via the CPI which is PCE, the personal consumption expenditures. Markets gained slight confidence in the interest rate cut next month as a result, with putting the odds at 0.25% decrease at 66% on the day. And reacting, we had the Kabisi letter who shared what happened to the Fed pivot, and Bitcoin saw little reason for concern in the meantime, making up for more of the week's earlier losses. Nice little buy the dip opportunity yesterday. Should have listened to the buy signal from the Nippinator. We got the Nippinator indicator. So you already know. Scu says the passive buyer bought into the low time frame lows. Also noted the order book liquidity from buyers and sellers remained pretty wide, with demand laddered through 85 Gs, quoting them here. Notably, order book change pulled ass, which aided the price decline. And he put alongside this 15-minute chart. Meanwhile, 100K clearly in play. It could happen any moment. It could happen today. Quoting the analyst here, we may not reach 100,000 in the short term. There's a large sell wall at 100,000. Well, you're obviously underestimating the buy wall. When you got Mikey Saylor, Larry Fink, Howard Lutnick, Bukele, and the rest of the bulls buying like there ain't no tomorrow. All I'm saying is I don't respect the sell wall, broskies. Chuck Norris would just put his bare knuckles right through the wall. I'm just saying El Chapo would just dig underneath the wall and get to the other side, and Batman would just throw the grappling hook and scale the wall. There's no such thing as an impossible sell wall. Get it straight, broskies. Citing the moving average, convergence, divergence, the MACD, social media account Bitcoin Munger was bullish. That's right. Of course Munger's bullish. Even in the heavenly realm, even in the hellish realms, wherever Munger may be. Quoting him here, 100,000 coming whether you like it or not. Take that, Jimmy Cramer. But anyways, once the calls for 70,000 were becoming loud, it was obvious we'd get a clean upward move. We're in a bull market. Stop being overly bearish. I repeat, we're in a bull market. Gentlemen, stop being overly bearish. There's no logic for that. But anyways, let's pull up some of the live charts, family, via TradingView, via Coinbase. Right now, big pumpage. We're currently sitting above 97.2. Hell of a run up. We're up 6,000 on the day. Can't complain. I woke up, we were 91,000. We're approaching 98, roughly less than 3% away from price discovery. Here you're looking at the 1 hour chart, looking lit like a Cuban cigar. We have a blue bull target sitting at 105 Gs. Look at all the green hourly candles that are bullish. How many consecutive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 of the last 8. We had an itty bitty corrective a couple of hours ago. We also have a target sitting in the red of 98.3, which is practically where we're currently at. And zooming out from the 1 hour, we'll check out the 4 hour, live and in the flesh, live chart action, bullish pennant formation sensation. We do have a green target as well, sitting above 108,000 on the 4 hour chart. And as you can see, 1, 2, 3 consecutive green 4 hour candle closes. Zooming out from there, we check out the 1 day. Survey says, hell of a day. We're on our way to the God candle, obviously. We had a big corrective candle yesterday, and we just pretty much just reclaimed where we left off as we continue our upward trajectory here in Moonvember, here in Q4. A few more days left of the month, and then we're in December. Things are looking pretty bullish. Happy 420 in advance, broskies. It's 422 here in Puerto Rico. And zooming out, we'll check out the weekly chart. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive weekly bullish green candle closes. Sexy cup and handle target still in play of 124,000. That's my personal realistic target for December. 124,000 in play. Let me know if you agree, disagree. And not too far from where we're at. It's another 27,000 to go. Send it. I mean, we did climb 30,000 the past 30 days. So if we just continue the same bullish momentum, we're right on track. And zooming out on the monthly, mega Godzilla candle close on the monthly, which we love to see. I think you ain't seen nothing yet. I believe this is just a precursor of what we're about to anticipate in 2025 as we hit the cycle peak. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree, holler. And with that being shared, welcome everyone to the live stream. Bitcoin making major moves. Congratulations on my whole coiners. For every whole coin you hodl, you're up 62 hundo on the day. Not too shabby. Bring it. Yeah, let's discuss this weak US dollar, shall we? And why that's so bullish for the biddy. U.S. dollar weakness, growing money supply can fuel Bitcoin 2025 rally. The growing global money supply and the potential decline in the U.S. dollar obviously is fueling the rally, and we're on the cusp of entering six figures today. Bitcoin now above 97 Gs was just actually like $110, just shy of 100,000. November 22nd, we witnessed it here on the Pump Watch. So you already know we had quite a big correction, and we're right back where we left off. Growing global money supply and a potential price reversal, the US dollar index will set up Bitcoin's 2025 rally, according to Jamie Couts, chief analyst over at Real Vision, quoting him here. The US dollar currency index, DXY, could have topped here. The lag effect that FinTwit is focused on at the moment is still real, but ultimately the Fed is waving the bull flag for risk assets again. Bullish 2025. You damn right. He previously called the M2 money supply an estimate of all cash and short-term bank deposits across the U.S. the key to the next Bitcoin rally due to the historic correlation with the Bitcoin price. At the beginning of May, the M2 money supply turned positive year over year for the first time since November 2023, prompting investors to start looking for hedges against inflation, such as Bitcoin, which surged 58% since the money supply flipped positive. Bitcoin to breach 132,000 target in 2025 on the growing global M2 supply. I'd say that's quite optimistic, but let's entertain it nonetheless. Bitcoin could also benefit from the growth of the global M2 supply, of course, which is projected to increase due to the incoming liquidity injection from the Fed. More money printer go brr, the more the Bitcoin price action will soar. Common sense. Due to liquidity concerns, the Fed could increase the global money supply. No, they will, to over 127 trillion. Good Lord. Next year, up from the current 107 trillion, making a potential 18% increase is pretty much a guarantee. The growing money supply could see Bitcoin price rise to over 132,000, and that's just being bearish, homies. Longer term, this is where I am at for this cycle, a 12-month forecast based on linear relationship with liquidity, but Bitcoin cycles are not linear. I think we go much higher than this. Let me know your thoughts. Meanwhile, Trump's victory will drive the Bitcoin 2025 rally just as it has been driving all financial markets since the election, November 5th. And we ain't slowed down yet. Trump's not even in office yet. Maybe by the time Trump hits office, Jan 20th, Bitcoin will be 200 Gs. Gary Gensler will have been officially resigned. He already announced that's his final day in office. Otherwise, he'd get fired by the Trumpster. And Ross Ulbricht is going to be a free man. And who knows, maybe Ross will come on the podcast and tell us what prison life was like for the past 11 years and what it was like to create the first free marketplace to trade the Bitcoin, which is the Silk Road. How fantastic would that be? Let me know, family. Maybe we'll make it happen. Trump's victory inspired a new wave of risk appetite, expected to bolster the 2025 crypto rally. Bitfinex analyst shared, we expect all crypto assets to continue to make new highs into the new year once the Trump admin takes over the industry, benefiting from the increasingly supportive regulatory environment. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy has only completed 29% of the 12/21 plan. I believe it's called the 21/21 plan. You're welcome, Cointelegraph, for the correction, to purchase over $42 billion worth of their Bitcoin, and they just announced another $5 billion purchase just the other day. Michael Saylor don't play those games. You feel me?
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay, what's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one. I'm sorry, I lied.
Bitcoin is number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Big day tomorrow, Thanksgiving, 100K in play any moment now. But let's continue with the news, broskies. Big news coming out of Brazil. That's right. Brazil's Congress to weigh the Bitcoin reserve as a hedge against the global risks. A newly proposed bill in Brazil's Congress plans to establish a sovereign federal Bitcoin reserve, potentially reshaping the country's approach to digital assets. The bill was introduced November 25th by Congressman Eros Biodini and seeks the creation of a sovereign strategic Bitcoin reserve known as a RESBIT. Let's go RESBIT. And according to the legislation, the Bitcoin reserve could shield the country's sovereign reserve from the currency fluctuations and geopolitical risk, while also serving as collateral for the country's forthcoming central bank digital currency, which their term is Drex. Interesting. A sovereign reserve is a pool of assets held by a nation's central bank, typically used to back the country's fiat currency, stabilize the economy, and support international trade. Brazil had $355 billion in reserves as of December of 2023, primarily backed by assets tied to global fiat currencies, such as the US dollar. And under the proposed legislation, the Bitcoin reserve would complement existing financial assets up to the maximum of 5% of the country's reserve through phased purchases. The country's central bank would still manage the assets through public systems powered by blockchain and AI, with the support of a technical advisory committee formed by security experts. The bill refers to El Salvador's move into Bitcoin as an example of progress. Amen. Shada Bukele. The Central American country made Bitcoin a legal tender back in 2021 alongside the US dollar, seeking to enhance financial inclusion and encourage the foreign investment. I even believe legal tender is Tether USDT. It's ultimately Tether, the dollar, and Bitcoin, and Tether being the official stablecoin for the country. Since then, El Salvador's government has been actively buying the biddy, virtually buying up a new Bitcoin every day, currently holding 6,000 Bitcoin worth $542 million as of yesterday, and obviously up a lot more here today with Bitcoin up over 6,000 per biddy. And according to the draft law introduced to Brazil, Bitcoin has helped El Salvador diversify its economy over the past 4 years. The bill also includes provisions for penalties in cases of non-compliance or poor management of the ResBit, stating that violators could face administrative or criminal sanctions. And now under review by the Speaker of the Brazil House of Representatives, the legislation will be directed to committees for debate upon approval. Brazil has been advancing guidelines for digital assets. Back in June of last year, the country implemented a legal framework granting its central bank authority to regulate and oversee virtual asset service providers. Additionally, token qualified as securities continue to fall under the oversight of the country's Securities and Exchange Commission. So there you have it. All I know is this. From my understanding, Brazil has the largest population as far as countries are concerned in South America, hundreds of millions of people, probably even bigger than the United States, I would assume, as far as population. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just rattling my thoughts out loud. But obviously, if they are to adopt Bitcoin and all the other Latin American countries that are following their footsteps, being they're so big, game on. Another 250 million people are going to have access to Bitcoin, potentially even more. So let's go. That's extremely bullish. I love that. All-time high, 1128, 2013, 2017. It could be tomorrow. So you're saying tomorrow we could break 100,000? I agree. It could potentially happen today, broskies. Let's soon find out. Check this out. Trump's in the headlines again. Trump eyes handing the CFTC oversight of the crypto. That's right. Take that, SEC. Trump's incoming administration reportedly wants the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission, which we know is the CFTC, to oversee the crypto industry, a move that could drastically roll back some of the regulatory power from the SEC. All I got to say, it's about time. The role could see the CFTC take on the regulation of the spot market for digital assets, deemed commodities, and crypto exchanges. And for Fox Business reported November 26, citing sources familiar with the matter, U.S. President-elect Trump's team says the SEC's enforcement actions against the industry players have slowed crypto innovation in the U.S. and that a less stringent approach is needed to facilitate the growth. If the CFTC is handed regulatory control over crypto, it would be a big win for the industry, which has long signaled the agency, which is preferred regulator as it perceived to be fairer and has a lighter touch. My understanding is the SEC has jurisdiction over unregistered securities, hence why Gary tries to conclude that every crypto is an unregistered security. They want oversight over that, clearly. And then the CFTC has the jurisdiction over the commodities. Now, quoting them here, with adequate funding and under the right leadership, I think the CFTC could hit the ground running to begin regulating digital commodities on day one of Trump's presidency. So that's bullish, clearly, for the crypto industry. So let's go. They also try to convince the Senate Agriculture Committee, which oversees the CFTC, to support the CFTC's oversight of the spot crypto market by noting the regulator had called Bitcoin a commodity all the way back in 2015, broskies. The CFTC approved Bitcoin options under Giancarlo's leadership. That was back December of 2017. How many of you were involved in crypto back then, 2017? That's the year I discovered Bitcoin. So let me know. I'm curious. Now, current CFTC Chairman Ralston, who shares mostly moderate views of crypto, asked the Senate Agriculture Committee for extra funding to regulate crypto markets more effectively. The CFTC's $706 million operating budget to police fraud and market manipulation is more than 4 times smaller than the SEC's $3 billion for the 2024 fiscal year. The commodities regulator employs only about 700 staff compared to the SEC's 5,300. 500. So let's go, CFTC. I can't wait for you to take over jurisdiction here of the market. Around 50% of the CFTC's enforcement actions have been brought against crypto businesses in 2024, which Benman has called a staggering statistic for an agency that isn't mandated to even regulate the industry. Let that sink in. Some of this enforcement action has come against the crypto companies that are not even U.S. based. Meanwhile, the SEC's leadership set the change. Can I get an amen? Gary, you're out. Now go hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. Go home and get your shine box, Gary. SEC Commissioner Jamie will also step down from his position, and I'm not talking tapeworm, but Lizarraga, on January 17th, motivated by the desire to spend more time with his wife, allegedly. We all know the lizard folks are scattering with Trump now at the helm. So we're getting a whole new administration. Let's freaking go. We know it's nothing but corrupt to begin with and overreaching in crypto. Stifling innovation, Operation Chokehold 2.0, the war on crypto, no more. Biden leaves office, no more war on crypto. We got to get Warren out of there. We get Gary out of there. Get all these corrupt mofos working for the lizard folk out of office. Stat. And we'll leave it at that as we're stacking the sats, family. A day before Thanksgiving, respect the pump. But let's continue with the headlines, shall we? Here's the bullishness. We're going to discuss Tim Draper's latest targets, including $250,000 Bitcoin. Then we'll be discussing the latest from Samson Mow, Jan 3 CEO, his $1 million price prediction. And then we'll do some live Q&A. We'll pull up the charts and we'll pump watch until we hit our coveted six-figure milestone. How's that sound? Let's make her happen, Captain. But yeah, next story of the day, broskies. Here's when Bitcoin could hit the massive $250,000 price tag, according to billionaire venture capitalist, the one and only early Bitcoin OG, Tim Draper. That's right. In 2018, Draper first predicted Bitcoin would hit $250,000 by 2022. When that failed to happen, the venture capitalist amended the timeline of what the prediction until mid-2023. Now, Draper tells my least favorite article source, I won't even say their name and give them any recognition. And for those that know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. He still thinks Bitcoin is destined to jump to $250,000. Let her jump. Let her do its thing. My first prediction was in 2014, says Draper, when Bitcoin was at 180 bones. I said that it would be 10,000 in 3 years. And sure enough, by the end of 2017, Bitcoin actually hit 20,000. That's right, I recall, because I was here every day. Since then, I have not been been as persistent. I thought Bitcoin would hit 250,000 by 2022. I think I'm going to be 3 years off. The venture capitalist predicts Bitcoin to hit 120,000 by the end of this year and more than double that price by next year. Send it. Quoting him again, it's a long-term trend. Bitcoin is just better technology than using banks and governments. And a trusted third party. It is transparent, global, open, keeps perfect record, etc. It will make the world wealthier. And when the retailers and government realize the Bitcoin will save them money on each transaction, there will be a great incentive for everyone to use the Bitty. Couldn't agree more. You ain't seen nothing yet. Consider this, family. Right now, the Bitcoin market cap is just shy of $2 trillion. The total addressable financial market is north of $300 trillion. Max Kaiser, the high priest of Bitcoin, predicts 50% of the total addressable market will flow from the financial market into Bitcoin. If 50% flows, we're talking $150 trillion market cap. So beyond surpassing the gold market cap of $17 trillion. And if that were to happen, watch out. And that's why we're stacking the Bitty accordingly. 100K in play, and that's only a pit stop. You know, Destiny is 100 million a coin, $1 per sat, $1 per sat, and right now you can cop over 1,000 sats per dollar. It's a no-brainer. Now for our feature story of the day: Bitcoin to hit $1 million in days or weeks after we tap 100,000, and here's the kicker: 100,000 in play today, broskies. Let me flip her around. 100K in play. You already know. Happy Turkey Day in advance. We're just warming up here. So let's break this baby down and shout out Samson Mow, Jan 3 founder, the one and only. He tweeted here, 0.1 million, which is 100K, then 1.0 million, which is 7 figures all day, every day. Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Let me know. And as you can see in the headlines, Bitcoin to hit 1 million after 100,000, according to Samson Mow, who does insist. And in this headline, which was published a few weeks ago, Jan 3 CEO Samson Mow doubles down on 1 million Bitcoin prediction following the U.S. escape event. So let's break this baby down. Here we go. Bitcoin's eruption in the U.S. financial state policy has experts making conjectures about digital assets, future price increases. In fact, we got our very own Samson Mow, CEO of Jan 3, the company that promotes Bitcoin adoption at a nation-state level, Respect, has recently stated Bitcoin might get to 1 million, check this out, family, in weeks or months as the U.S. debt scenario explodes, doubling down on his earlier predictions. And we all know the debt's going to explode. There's no stopping it. Mow stated Bitcoin at 100,000 was undervalued. Couldn't agree more. Detailing it was still an anomaly. The Bitcoin traded below this number, even with the recent explosive price increases. And this was right before we just recently ran up to 99.9. Mow detailed that the ETFs green-lighted by the US SEC, which have brought billions to the crypto industry, should have been sufficient to take Bitcoin at least over $100,000. And that's him being conservative, fam. However, Mow still believes the Bitcoin will reach 1 million as soon as the macroeconomic elements align for this to happen. He details that the U.S. public debt as the main catalyst of such a rise, as Bitcoin will have a special place in the upcoming election. Get damn straight. Quoting him here, interest payments are getting to $1 trillion a year. And I don't think most people realize, but these are astronomical numbers. And these are absolutely unsustainable. President-elect Trump has recognized the relevance of crypto, having supported Bitcoin-linked initiatives. There's already a regulatory proposal to introduce a national strategic Bitcoin reserve here in the United States. That will send Bitcoin to $1 million in of itself, in my opinion. Let me know if you agree, broskies. We have Cynthia Lummis' Bitcoin Act. Mow forecasts that as a solution for this problem, including rebasing the U.S. dollar to a stronger, more solid currency like the Bitcoin, allowing the U.S. to pay its debt using Bitcoin state-owned stockpiles. And that's precisely what we heard Trump declare when he spoke at the Nashville Bitcoin conference. He said he will stockpile the biddy for the United States and turn the United States of America into the Bitcoin mining hub of the entire world. If that's not bullish, I don't know what is. And on top of that, he promised to fire Gensler day one on the job and free Ross Ulbricht. Make some noise for that, broskies. Either there's going to be a debt jubilee or the U.S. dollar has to rebase in the biddy. There are 100 million Satoshis in the biddy, and you can reprice the U.S. dollar to 1 Satoshi. Then what happens? Want to know what happens? Bitcoin goes to $100 million per coin. That's what happens, broskies. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome to the Q&A segment of the live show. We're going to turn this mofo from a pod into a pump watch because I practice something called Bitcoin alchemy. Check how it works. We strike the gong, we send Bitcoin to $100,000, and we flip it into a pump watch just like that. Bada boom, bada bing! Bitcoin remains the king. Do you understand, broskies? There's no stopping the Bitcoin train. You hop on the train or forever get left behind. Like Janet Yellen and the rest of the lizard folk resigning, tucking their tail between their legs, getting out of office. Why do you think they're running, scurrying? Put 2 and 2 together. Put the pieces together, broskies. Can't you read between the lines, or I got to spell it all out for you? Do you understand what's happening? I'm not here to hype nobody up. I'm just preaching the facts. Hop on the train today or forever get left behind. If you're a no-coiner, please go sell something in your garage. Pick up some biddy while you still can. I don't care if it's $10. Get in the game. You don't want to be sitting on the sidelines. This is not the time for that. You have the opportunity to be in the game. How do you get in the game? Buy some Bitcoin. Get in the game, for Christ's sake. Do not just watch this train go by. It's like you're watching the bullet train in China go 500 miles an hour, and you're not in the train, and you're on foot. You're going to forever get left behind. Why? It's going up forever, Laura. Forever. And I'm not talking about Laura from Family Matters. I'm talking about Laura from the Michael Saylor interview, for Christ's sake.